So welcome back to the Douglas Smith channel. I'm Douglas Smith still. uh, Today I'm going to tell you it's basically a bunch of stories that where I've seen things that I can't explain, and most of them are things that I was never ever going to share because you know I have shared a couple of those stories with people, and the reaction is, you know, like, okay. But I'm going to preface this. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I'm just telling you what I saw. So the first thing is actually an update from a story that I told about the thing from Lakeside. I get a lot of people on there coming on talking about, well, I grew up in Lakeside, lived there my whole life. I've never seen anything like that, you know. And here's the drawing that I did. Okay, so not the greatest drawing. I had just started playing with GAMP using their paint tools, and but it was the overall body shape that I was going for. What I saw was a thing that looked kind of like a cow, but walking bipedally, had an elongated neck, and across the street in front of the school bus that I was on with my fellow classmates there. And it's I get a lot of people, like I said, from Lakeside saying they, nobody's ever seen that, or yeah, we have them, but they're tweakers. I don't know who wrote that. That was funny because I mean, tweakers are a problem everywhere. You got to root them out with fire. Tell them the good dope is out west or back east, depending upon where you are. But anyway, so like what 6 months ago, I come across this picture that goes through the story. Here's the picture. Okay, so I came across this picture. These guys are in Bulgaria. They dress up in these costumes in this village here or town, and these costumes are supposed to scare away evil spirits. So these people are basically dressed almost exactly like what I saw, except the hair on their costumes is longer. Now, I'm not offering that up as proof that, I saw some sort of creature. I'm just saying that I saw something. This is so similar to what I saw. My immediate thought, well, gee, there must have been a Bulgarian dude that lived there who's still dressed up in his costume, and maybe he cut the hair on it. It being Southern California and a little warmer here than probably where, I mean, that place looks cold in that picture. But I mean, that was my first thought. And when I tell these stories, I'm telling you because I saw something. You know, I probably, well, like I said, with some of these, I'm not going to have any kind of explanation. I mean, I can give you an idea of what, my best far fetched guess is. But, and a lot of these things were, I later learn about through, uh, like creepy pastas and stuff like that. And I started thinking, God damn, that is crazy. That's so. And I say creepy pastas. I mean, in different stories and shit that I've heard over the internet. I mean, and most of the stuff that happened to me happened even before there was even a fucking internet. Another story of crazy. I mean, this story still kind of trips me out to this day. I'm like 15, 14, 15, 16, somewhere in there. I don't think I was driving. I think we were all on bikes, and I think we were in Spring Valley, somewhere down near the fucking swap meet. But anyway, we go out there, and there's all these people out there, which was also unusual. And they're like taking pictures, and there's a set of like cobblestone stairs out there, just a set of fucking stairs that goes up to what was looked like it was probably a hallway, but like only one side of the supports was still standing, and the rest of it had collapsed. And that's what it looked like. There was no rubble or anything from it. But the stairs went up, and they kind of wound up and around to this thing where it went off to the side there. And if you had asked me, I'd swear they'd been there 1,000 years. I mean, you could see that the mortar used in it was almost about ready to turn to sand. You know, but turn back into sand. But anyway, we're like goofing off, me and my friends, and everybody's kind of standing around and looking at it and everything. And I remember there was this kid. He was sitting there playing in the dirt and getting rocks and shit. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. But I go and I start to walk up the steps. I don't know why. I just started walking up the steps, and I made it about the third step, and I hear this blood curdling scream behind me. And I turn around, and here's this kid, and I'm telling you, man, he's fucking squirting blood out of his hand. And his he was a Latino. There was a whole Latino family there, like probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 people. It seemed like the grandfather with maybe his kids and then their grandkids kind of thing. And there was an older, I don't know, it may have been more like 8 or 9. They were in a couple of cars, so I don't know. And then there was like another group of people there. But his family rushes in to help him, the kid, like his parents. And the old man, he comes up, he starts yelling at me, in Spanish. So I don't know what the fuck he's saying. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, whoa, 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 I didn't do anything, you know. And he's motioning for me to get off the stairs while he's, screaming at me. So I get down, and I'm sitting there, and I don't remember if it was one of my friends that started translating or if one of his family members, but he was saying, you never go up the stairs that are in the middle of, that are just standing by themselves. All of this stuff, they're cursed, and I'm sitting there, and at this point, I'm like about, trying not to laugh because, one, I'm just a stupid kid, and, two, I really didn't believe in any of that shit, I grew up with Carl Sagan, watching shit like that, shit that could be scientifically proven, that's where I tried to stay. But he's going off. They ended up calling an ambulance for that kid. And I guess because of the way they said things, the sheriff's department came out too. Fucking San Diego Sheriff's Department. God, what a bunch of assholes. Anyway, these two deputies come up, and the old man is talking to him, and I guess it was his son or son-in-law or something's translating. They told him what happened, about how I went up the stairs and the kid got cut. He was playing in the dirt and dug up a piece of glass and sliced his finger open like really good, like to the bone. And but it ended up the cops came over to me and they started telling me, hey, you shouldn't have done that. And I'm just like, dude, all I did was go up the stairs. And then he starts saying, well, look, a lot of people believe this, and I said, their belief system and my reality are two different things. I went off on that kind of route, and we were all just kind of going in circles. And the old man finally came back up, and, or he came over to me and had his son translate that I was cursed and this, that, and the other, and I was just like, whatever. So that was another, like, not really strange or unexplainable. I mean, it was just one of those odd occurrences, you know. This next one was, this happened here, actually, while I lived here in about 2010. And when I first moved here, I used to walk around the neighborhood every day. And I walk about, maybe 3 miles, something like that. But one day I was out walking and I came across this footprint. Check this out. Okay, so I came across this footprint. Now, actually, it has three toes. What looks like a fourth toe was actually where there was a rock there. I should have just fucking left it there, but I fucking moved it. The print itself is about 6 inches long, and you can see at the heel where the dirt is kind of kicked up there. Uh, and what's weird is how the dirt is pushed forward, and where the toes are. But this is a real footprint, and it's, like I said, it's about 6 inches long. It's pretty crazy. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to get my hand in there well enough. I say 6 inches. It could have been more like 4 inches. But and you can see by the shadow of my hand that it was kind of late in the day. But it's a crazy looking print. I've never seen anything like that. I looked at all different kinds of animal prints here. The next story was took place in about 2001. No, probably more like 2000 actually. It was right after I graduated from Tulsa Welding School, or a couple of years after. And I was hanging out with this dude from Missouri and another dude from Oklahoma. And we just all happened to be up in Missouri. And we were outside of Cassville near, was it Eagle Lake or Beaver Lake? It's one of the two. I know there's a Beaver Liquor near there, like in Seligman. We were in Cassville, and I can't. It's been a while since I lived there. But anyway, we're hiking through the woods, right? And these are fucked up paths, trees down, to where you're having to like hack around an area just to get through this trail. And we get back on the trail and we're going along, and we get to an area where there's kind of a clearing. We kind of like taking a break, and all of a sudden we can hear all this fucking noise, something coming through the woods. And I see way up the trail, up in the hills. I mean, this is a rough fucking trail. Here's this dude flipping end over end, and then he'd like go into like cartwheels and flipping all. He's fucking flipping, dude. This dude, he comes right by us, flips right by us, and flips off down the fucking trail. flipping and cartwheels and all this shit, like really fast, like unbelievably fast. And I sit there and we all look at each other and like, what the fuck? I mean, that was just, it was so crazy. And, yeah, we all sat there and we're in total shock. And we ended up finished getting up to the lake and everything, or the pond, and went fishing. And we were talking about that and just how fast he was going and how he was able to like maneuver while he's doing all these insane tricks and shit. I mean, to me, it was just. I'm not saying that it was anything supernatural or anything like that, or even you know anything like that. It was just really fucking weird. It's like when you come across a person where you can just feel that they're not human. There is something so far off about this creature before you that looks human, but you just know deep inside this this is somebody wearing a human suit. You know, come across quite a few times like that, especially as a little kid. I think you seem to sense it more as a kid, and it always seemed to be more apparent in like elderly people. You know, maybe I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's because they're close to leaving this world. I don't know. Just get weird feelings in the way they would look at you, and you're like, "Arr," you know? Old people used to scare me. But yeah, I also saw something crazy at a church. Uh, it was actually at the church that I used to attend. Uh, Pastor's up there giving his sermon. Everybody's sitting in the pews there. It's a normal Sunday morning, and I'm sitting there. I'm watching the pastor, and all of a sudden, it's like his face has like a double image on it. And I'm sitting there, and I started looking around, and I heard at least two people gasp, and other people, I could hear whispering happening. Other people saw this. I wasn't the only person who saw this. And even the people who I stayed with from my church, they saw it too. The very next week, we had a new pastor at the church. The pastor quit and said that that the job was so stressful, he was having uh, high blood pressure problems, and he was going to go sell insurance. All right, you say so. All right, but yeah, that was pretty crazy. Uh, what else? I wrote a few of these things down. Oh yeah, stick figure. Yeah, sitting in Palm Springs at my friend's house, looking out over the desert. Actually, it's not Palm Springs. It's Thermal, California. Yeah, you look to the north and you see Palm Springs, and then there's like Bombay Beach and all that shit. Or maybe that's across the thing. I think that's actually on the other side. But anyway, it's all desert out in front of his house, and we're all sitting on the porch, and his wife goes, "Look at that!" And I get up and I look, and I see what looks like. I mean, the way it's moving, it's like one of those wacky waving arm inflatable tube men, you know? I mean, it's all like fucking whipping, but it looks like a stick figure, like a fucking like a stick figure, like if somebody drew a living stick figure and had it walk down through the desert. And we're sitting there watching it, and I mean, we're trying to figure out what it was. And it's like, what in the fuck is that? And I mean, the only thing I could figure was that the wind had picked up a piece of, like some kind of tape of some kind, like, and I'm talking about like, like maybe an old videotape, and it came on out, and enough of it was enough flying around to where it made it look. That's me trying to rationalize it. But anyway, but as it walked down, it was like it turned, and when it turned, it was like we were looking at it dead on, and we couldn't see it anymore, and it was just gone, just like that. But we see this thing walk down, and then it does that, and it's just like, wow, what the fuck? That's crazy. And I mean, it was like the same as seeing the flipping guy. When the flipping guy came through the woods, I mean, we were just like, what the fuck just happened? I mean, it was crazy. What is it, guy? Yeah, the last story, you know, that's a that's a hard one to tell, man, because that one was so crazy. I mean, I don't even. I mean, me and my cousin were going fishing. This is when I was living in North Carolina, and lived in Cordova, and there's hundreds of ponds and lakes and rivers and shit all around there. So I mean, we were always going to a different spot and go fishing. And me and my cousin Travis, we head out to this place, and I just cannot for the life of me remember where the hell it is. I have no memory of where we were. What I remember is we got out of the car, we walked off in on a trail, and the trail kind of paralleled the road a ways, but then the road went up, and there was like a hill to our left, and there was a hill to our right. We're in kind of a valley that undulated, from where water had come down on both sides, and then there was like a creek to our left. Not really a creek. I mean, it was more just a drain. But we're walking, and Trav's a lot younger than me, and he was in better shape, so he was actually got kind of a ways ahead of me. And he had walked up this next like hump, and he gets to the top of it, and he stops. And as I'm walking up, I can hear it that there's something just came out of the hill and come down through the woods and was coming up on the trail. And I knew when Travis stopped, and plus I could hear that whatever it was big. I come up the trail behind Travis, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking, and I can see the bushes move, and then follow across the path, and the bushes start moving over there, and that's when I really freaked out. I grabbed my cousin, the back of my cousin's shirt. I'm like, whoa, what is that? Did you see that? We have to go. We have to go. Something invisible moved across the trail in front of us and moved down towards that creek, crossed the creek, and went up the bank. And I could hear it. I could see its movement, or its interaction with the environment around it. But I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it at all. Couldn't see it at all. The only thing I can figure is that because we were kind of over there, you're pretty close to Fort Bragg. So maybe, somebody's testing some kind of, you know, new age camo or something. I mean, this wasn't like the Predator where I saw the shimmer, there was nothing. There was nothing there. The only thing I could see is its interaction with everything around it. My cousin never saw it. He could hear it, but he never saw it, and he didn't see where it went through the bushes. I noticed that because as I was coming up the trail, it was right there in front of me. You know, the bushes that it came through was right there, perfect. I was perfect line of sight to see it, and then I followed its trajectory and where it went into the bushes on the other side. And Travis, he was just like, you know, he didn't know what was going on. And I grabbed him by the back of the shirt and I started to pull him because I'm telling you right now, I freaked out. I mean, I freaked the fuck out. I lost my cool. I did. I completely lost my cool, and seeing that was more than my fucking psyche could handle. And yeah, I was like, time to go. Gotta go. No way. So, so that's a collection of stories there. Um, you know, I, I have lots of stories like that where I've seen things that you're just like, what in the fuck was that? You know, or what just happened? uh, so as I remember them, I'll try to put them down. But and I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything. I'm just telling you what I saw. So y'all take care. Have a good one, and peace out.